The weight in the room grows heavier, but not dark. It's the weight of something greater than fear. It's the weight of a holy presence. You felt chills before, but this isn't that. This is different. It's like standing at the edge of a story written long before you were born. Michael steps closer, not physically, but spiritually. His presence presses against your reality like light pressing against glass. He's not here to harm. He's here to awaken. In the unseen, he stands with his sword burning brighter than any star, his wings wide like walls of fire protecting your home. Something approaches the borders of your life tonight, and Michael isn't taking it lightly. I'm not here to scare you, he says, his voice firm yet almost aching. I'm here because heaven has chosen this moment for you. If you ignore it, you will never understand what you were meant to receive. But if you open this, everything changes. His words aren't threats. They are prophecies. Heaven doesn't warn in vain. Your heartbeat starts to sync with the ticking clock on the wall. Tick. 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 But the sound is different now, heavier, slower. You glance at the door, then at the ceiling, trying to understand what's happening, but the truth is, it's not happening outside. It's happening around your soul. Heaven is leaning in close. For the first time in a long time, your house is more than walls and wood. It's a stage for something divine. Michael's voice lowers, and the air vibrates. I order you. Open it. Right now. His authority doesn't come from threat. It comes from heaven itself. You can feel the command pulling at your spirit like a tide pulling the ocean. Something wants your attention, desperately. Not because it needs you, but because it was written for you. The wind outside brushes against your windows, even though the night was still moments ago. A warm wave moves through the room, wrapping around your chest like invisible hands. It isn't cold. It isn't harsh. It feels like power, holy power, sweeping through every corner, making the shadows retreat like they know who has entered. You swallow hard. Every sense sharpens. You're aware of every creak, every sound, every breath. Michael doesn't appear before your eyes, but the weight of his presence is undeniable. It's like trying to ignore thunder standing over your shoulder. He leans closer in the unseen, his voice now almost a whisper. You think you're alone. But tonight, heaven stands inside your house. Somewhere deep in your chest, an instinct wakes up. A memory. A prayer you thought heaven didn't hear. The moment you thought no one was listening, heaven was writing a response. That response is here now, wrapped in urgency. I'm begging you for just 20 seconds, Michael whispers. Angels don't beg because they are weak. They beg because they know how much is at stake. This is not coincidence. This moment has been carved into time. You must open it now. Your clock ticks louder. 20 seconds. That's what he said. You look at your phone, your door, your ceiling. Nothing seems to make sense, but your soul is shaking. Heaven doesn't ask without purpose. The air grows heavier, as though a storm is forming not outside but inside your home. A deep vibration hums beneath the floor. It isn't sound. It's presence. Every hair on your arms rises. The room isn't colder, but the atmosphere has changed. Something holy is moving closer. Michael raises his sword in the unseen realm, not to strike, but to shield. Golden fire arcs through the darkness. His wings expand wider, wrapping your house like a dome of light. The voice that spoke worlds into existence has sent one of its strongest messengers to your door. Heaven doesn't move like this for ordinary moments. This is appointed time. Your breathing grows slower. Your thoughts blur. The world outside, the traffic, the people, the noise, feels distant now. It's just you, the silence, and the voice of a warrior of heaven saying, "Open it." He isn't angry. He's pleading like someone who's seen what's coming and refuses to let it pass you by. A soft ringing sound begins. Not from your phone. Not from your clock. From nowhere and everywhere at once. It's the sound of a call not made by human hands. A spiritual alarm. Michael's tone deepens. I can't force you. But heaven can only move where it's welcomed. The seconds are ticking. You don't know why this is happening, but something inside whispers, this is real. It's not a dream. Not a random thought. It's divine interception. Heaven is knocking. The walls seem to pulse faintly, as though the entire house is listening too. You sense it now, a light outside of human sight pressing closer, stretching across time to meet this moment. Heaven is serious. This night was never random. It was planned. Michael's wings shift, and you feel a gust of invisible wind brush past your face. This will happen in your house tonight, he repeats, calm and unwavering. You can turn away, or you can open what has been sent. But understand, when heaven calls and you answer, nothing remains the same. You exhale slowly. It feels like you've been holding your breath without realizing it. Something inside you stirs, a mix of fear and reverence. Not the kind of fear that runs away, but the kind that understands something holy is standing near. The sound of ticking slows even more. 10 seconds. You can almost hear the rhythm in your chest matching heaven's heartbeat. Michael doesn't blink. Angels don't grow tired. He stands, sword blazing like sunrise breaking through a storm, and waits for your answer. This is not about fear, he says softly. This is about timing. This is about destiny. The Father has written something with your name on it. I was sent to alert you before it passes by your door. I won't beg again. But right now, heaven is asking you to open what has been sent. The warmth grows stronger, wrapping around your shoulders like a blanket of light. You can't see it, but your soul can. It's not the kind of moment you can explain later. It's the kind that explains you. The final seconds echo in the room like footsteps approaching. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then, silence. Not emptiness. Holy silence. A silence so loud it makes everything else disappear. Michael doesn't speak now. He doesn't need to. Heaven has said enough. Your eyes sting. Not from pain. From the weight of presence. The night is no longer ordinary. Your house is no longer just walls. This moment has been marked. Heaven has arrived. The silence that follows isn't empty. It carries weight, like the air itself is holding its breath. Archangel Michael stands unseen, but the pressure of his presence fills the room like a tide rising against the shore. You can't see his face, but you can feel his gaze, fierce, focused, and unwavering. Angels do not guess. Angels know. And he knows what's approaching your house tonight. You try to steady your breathing, but your chest tightens. It's not fear. It's awareness. Heaven has turned its full attention toward this moment. The clock on your wall has stopped ticking, yet somehow, time itself is louder now. Michael's wings expand wider, sweeping through the unseen, forming a shield between you and something outside your comprehension. He speaks again. This time, slower. What's coming is not meant to break you. It's meant to reveal what's already yours. That's why I begged you for 20 seconds. That's why heaven ordered me to stand here tonight. Because something written long ago is about to touch your door. The air hums with a frequency your ears can't place, but your soul recognizes it. It's the sound of a door opening somewhere far beyond what human senses can track. A door between realms. Michael tilts his head slightly, listening to something you can't hear. His jaw clenches. He doesn't fear, but he stands ready. Outside, the wind shifts. The world hasn't changed, but reality has thinned. It feels as if your house is sitting at the border between what's visible and what isn't. The walls around you don't move, but something passes through them, light, soft but fierce, wrapping itself around the edges of the room. It's not danger. It's a warning. Michael lowers his voice, but it still fills the space like a storm hiding in whispers. The heavens have been patient with you. Every tear you cried, every prayer you thought went unheard, none of it disappeared. The Father wrote every one of them into time. Tonight is not random. Tonight, what was delayed will be delivered. You close your eyes for a second, trying to process everything, but the air is too thick with presence. Michael steps closer. Though unseen, the ground seems to answer to his weight. The floor doesn't creak, it vibrates softly, like something ancient is acknowledging his authority. He extends his hand. You can't see it, but you can feel it. The temperature shifts. The warmth around your chest spreads outward, filling the entire room. A pulse of golden light flashes through the unseen, and for the briefest second, you almost see it, the outline of something vast and winged, standing between you and the night. You think heaven forgot you, Michael says. His tone isn't accusing, it's aching. You thought silence meant absence. But silence was strategy. The enemy does not attack what heaven does not value. The very fact that something has come to your door is proof that what belongs to you is worth fighting for. The atmosphere grows denser, like the air itself is woven with threads of light and fire. The shadows in the corners of the room retreat as if pulled back by invisible hands. It's not your imagination. The spiritual realm has stepped forward. Michael draws his sword, not because of fear, but because heaven always moves prepared. The blade isn't metal. It's pure light, living, breathing, radiant. The glow doesn't blind, it clarifies. It cuts through the layers of doubt and disbelief that have wrapped around your heart for so long. Something has been trying to reach you for years, he says. Something written with your name on it. Heaven scheduled this night for you to wake up. You don't need to fight for it. You just need to open. His voice cracks the air like thunder disguised as calm. A soft rumble shakes the ground beneath your feet. Not an earthquake. A shift. It feels as though a gate far away is unlocking. In that moment, your heartbeat speeds up. You can't explain why, but you know, something is approaching. Michael spreads his wings wider. Each feather burns like a line of gold drawn across the night. A protective dome wraps around your house, not visible to human eyes but unmistakable to your soul. Don't be afraid of the sound you'll hear, he whispers. Don't be afraid of what moves tonight. Fear is the language of the enemy. Faith is the language of heaven. I'm not here because you're weak. I'm here because you're chosen. The last word hits deep. Chosen. It echoes inside you like a bell struck in a cathedral. The room grows warm again, as if every corner is filling with invisible fire. You feel it in your bones, something is drawing near, not to harm, but to deliver. It's not coming from outside. It's coming from above. Michael looks toward the ceiling, as if watching something descend. His wings flare outward in a burst of light. It's time, he says quietly. The door between realms has opened. A faint sound rings through the room, almost like the chime of a clock, but not quite. It's cleaner. Pure. Like the sound of glass breaking in slow motion. The air bends slightly, and though your eyes see nothing, your spirit recognizes the shift. Michael lowers his sword, letting it hover in the air like it has its own will. He steps closer to you, so close you can feel the warmth radiating from his unseen presence. You must understand, he whispers, heaven doesn't knock without purpose. Every second tonight is written. Every breath is part of the plan. I wasn't sent to watch. I was sent to deliver a message. He pauses. The silence stretches long and deep. Then he says it, you are not alone in this house. You are surrounded by light. The darkness you feared has no authority here anymore. The words hit like waves. All those nights you spent afraid, all those silent prayers you thought disappeared, they were never unanswered. They were being stored for this moment. Michael slowly turns his face upward, his voice now no longer a whisper. It rolls through the room like a low roar from the heart of heaven. What's about to enter this house is not destruction. It's destiny. What's coming is what the enemy has tried to keep from you. But heaven has decided. It will be delivered. The sound in the air grows louder. It's not wind. It's movement. Divine movement. Your legs tremble slightly, but you don't step back. You don't run. Something inside you is done running. For the first time in a long time, you feel safe in a presence you can't see. You feel like you're standing in the middle of something bigger than your fears. Michael takes a single step closer. You need to understand. When heaven moves, nothing can stay the same. Tonight, I'm not asking you to fight. I'm asking you to open your heart. Open your faith. Open your door to what heaven has already decided belongs to you. The last words fall like a seal being pressed into wax. Final. Irrevocable. The sound outside grows distant. The world grows distant. All that remains is the hum of light in the air and the weight of Michael's voice. You've spent so long thinking the silence meant nothing was happening. But the silence was the sound of heaven building the answer. And tonight, it arrives. And then, as if heaven itself exhales, the entire atmosphere shifts. A soft but powerful wind rushes through your room, wrapping around you like invisible wings. Your skin tingles. The warmth grows stronger. And for a second, just a second, your spirit sees what your eyes cannot. A figure, radiant, vast, armored in light, standing between you and everything else. Michael stands at full height, sword raised high, as a surge of golden fire floods through the unseen. He doesn't shout now. He simply declares, "The time has come." And the night answers back. The wind inside the room isn't coming from outside anymore. It's not air. It's presence. Heavy, holy, unstoppable. The temperature hasn't dropped, but everything around you feels charged, alive, like lightning that isn't meant to strike, it's meant to awaken. Archangel Michael stands tall in the unseen, his sword raised, the blade burning with golden fire that doesn't cast shadows, it erases them. His wings unfold wider than the room itself, stretching into realms you can't see but can feel. The air pulses once, like the heartbeat of something enormous moving closer. Your heart matches the rhythm. This is no longer a warning. This is the moment itself. Heaven isn't knocking anymore. Heaven is here. Michael's voice rolls through the atmosphere, low but full of unshakable authority. It has begun. Outside, the world is still ordinary: traffic, distant sounds, the faint hum of lights, but inside your house, reality has cracked open. The walls aren't walls anymore. They're boundaries between worlds, trembling under the weight of something divine. A light that your eyes can't fully register bleeds through, not blinding, but alive. It breathes like a living thing, wrapping around your chest, your soul, your space. Michael lowers his sword slightly, not because the battle is over, but because heaven has stepped forward to take its rightful place. His eyes, unseen but felt, lock on you with a mixture of strength and gentleness. "Do you feel it?" he whispers. That's not fear. That's recognition. Your soul knows this light. It has always known. The clock that stopped ticking earlier gives one last faint click. One sound, like a signature being sealed. Heaven doesn't need permission anymore. It was already written. Michael turns toward the unseen doorway where the light is flooding in. He speaks, not to you, but to whatever lies beyond. The door is open. A surge of wind rushes through the room. Not violent, majestic. The kind of wind that doesn't just touch skin, it speaks to the soul. You grip the edges of whatever is near, a chair, the floor, your own arms, because even though nothing visible is moving, everything is changing. The light expands, filling every corner. Shadows that have clung to your space for years begin to peel back like mist before dawn. Michael doesn't strike at them. He doesn't need to. His presence alone is enough. "Darkness," he says softly, "your time here is finished." His voice isn't loud, but it carries the weight of heaven. Every syllable lands like a hammer against invisible walls. You can almost hear something retreating, not in fear, but in defeat. Michael turns his face toward you again. For years, the enemy whispered lies into this space. He told you you were forgotten. He told you heaven was silent. But tonight, that silence breaks. A wave of heat, not burning but cleansing, sweeps across your skin. It's the kind of warmth that feels like standing under sunlight after a long storm. You can't explain it with words, but your soul understands. Michael steps closer, the golden light around him flaring like a sunrise inside your house. The Father has written your name into this night, he says. Not because of chance. Not because of luck. Because you were chosen before the noise, before the pain, before the doubt. Heaven didn't forget. Heaven waited. The floor beneath you vibrates softly, not shaking, but humming, like 1,000 unseen wings beating in perfect rhythm. You feel your chest rise and fall, not with fear, but with a peace that doesn't make sense. Michael raises his sword again and points it toward the unseen realm beyond the light. The fire on it intensifies, but it's not wild. It's controlled. Focused. Holy. The enemy stood at your door for too long, he says. But heaven has now arrived. This house belongs. God says, when I speak, nothing in the world stays still. The night is quiet, but heaven is not. Far beyond what your eyes can see, something ancient and powerful begins to move. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of your reality, his wings blazing with a golden fire that doesn't burn, it purifies. His voice cuts through the layers between the seen and the unseen, calm yet unshakably firm. I order you to open this right now. It's not a suggestion. It's a command from a realm where time listens and darkness flees. You don't hear his words with your ears. You feel them. They run through your chest like a pulse that isn't yours. It's almost as if your spirit already knew he was coming. The room around you looks the same, walls, lights, furniture, but something invisible has shifted. The silence no longer feels empty. It feels alive, like something is standing right next to you. Something holy. Archangel Michael doesn't beg often. But tonight, his voice trembles with urgency. This will happen in your house tonight. I am trying to alert you. I am begging you for just 20 seconds. Open it immediately. His words echo, not just in your ears but deep in your bones. The air tightens. The light above your head flickers once. Time feels slower now, like the clock is holding its breath. Heaven has scheduled something for this exact moment. To light. The words hit like thunder clothed in calm. In an instant, the last remnants of heaviness, the doubt, the hidden fear, the quiet shadows, scatter like dust in the wind. Michael lowers his sword and kneels slightly, not out of weakness, but out of reverence to the power that has now entered your space. The golden light surges once more, and for a brief moment, your spirit sees what your eyes cannot. A form, vast, radiant, crowned with glory, stepping into your home. You can't describe it. You can only feel it. A love so overwhelming it silences everything else. A peace so deep it fills every corner of your mind where anxiety once lived. A strength so absolute it makes the concept of fear look fragile. God speaks, not in sound but in presence. The walls don't shake, but your soul does. The voice doesn't enter your ears, it pours directly into your spirit. I never left you. I have always been here. Tonight, I take back what was mine all along. Tears well in your eyes, not out of pain but because something in you recognizes the voice that spoke the world into existence. You felt alone. You felt unseen. But now, in this moment, you know, heaven never stopped watching. Michael stands again, his wings unfolding to their full span. The room seems too small to contain him, and yet it does, because this isn't about space. It's about presence. His voice is softer now. This is why I begged you to open. This is what the enemy tried to keep you from. This moment. This presence. This promise. The golden light begins to swirl slowly around the room, moving like a living river. It doesn't just surround you. It begins to fill you. Memories of fear, pain, sleepless nights, all of it begins to lose its grip, dissolving into that light like ink fading in water. Michael walks past you, or maybe through you. You can't tell. All you know is that his presence leaves warmth where cold once lived. He stands at the threshold, facing the unseen. He lifts his sword one final time. The door has closed behind the darkness, he says. It will not return. A final surge of wind bursts through the room, pushing against everything invisible. A sound rings out, soft but final, like a lock clicking into place. And then, stillness. Holy stillness. Michael turns back to you. His voice no longer carries warning. It carries victory. The fight you thought you were fighting alone was never yours to carry. Heaven has always been standing guard. You were never invisible. You were never forgotten. The Father didn't need you to win. He just needed you to open. The golden light calms into a steady glow. The air is still warm. The silence no longer feels heavy. It feels safe. The atmosphere of your house has changed forever. Michael lowers his sword to his side. This house is covered, he says quietly. This heart is sealed. Heaven's mark cannot be erased. You exhale for what feels like the first real time in years. A quiet strength spreads through your chest, not loud, not forced, just certain. God's voice lingers like a whisper in the air. I was never far away. I was waiting for you to open the door. Michael looks toward the invisible realm one last time, then at you. My task here is done, he says. But what was delivered tonight will not leave. Light does not visit. It stays. The wind fades. The light softens. But the peace, it remains. Michael steps back into the unseen, wings folding into the light, and in a blink, the atmosphere shifts. The room is still. Ordinary sounds return. But nothing is ordinary anymore. Your house is no longer the same. In the quiet that follows, something inside you stands taller. Stronger. Certain. What entered tonight wasn't a feeling. It was a kingdom. God's final whisper settles over your heart like a seal. This is yours. It was always yours. And then, silence. Holy silence. Not the kind that scares. The kind that tells you, heaven is still here.